Media Productions bring you a new video game review. And in this video, I'm actually doing a two-part review. A review from the initial game, and also some thoughts on this adaptation. And what I'm talking about is Cuphead. So Cuphead is made from independent studio and publisher Studio MDHR. It's a throwback, a double type of throwbacks to classic 1920s to 30s cartoons, like from Sarah Million Melodies, Silly Symphonies, Max Fletcher, and more specifically is like Buddy Boop. Also a run and gun shooter, very harken back to old classic arcade style video games. 2 doses of nostalgia. And the game, I will say that this this has more of a concept. And the basic concept or premise is that players will play either between Cuphead or his brother Mugman after they lose a game at a casino that is run by the devil himself. And to avoid getting their own soul snatched up, they must reclaim all the soul contracts from the citizens of the Inkwell Isles, a 3-part world where it has all sorts of creative characters that you will come across. The game does very little explorations on the actual world itself, as sometimes when you go around you'll meet some very bystander that will tell you something about the area, but or some type of person that they knew so the type of tone of this game, despite its very upbeat atmosphere, is kind of more of a downer if you look in between the lines, but not very much is told, so it's very little of what you can give across about the story of the world itself. No dialogue is given, so no voice actors are heard and to give breathe life to the characters, instead of the wonderful animation that which it has a very unique and diverse set of character designs, which you can see the personalities coming through, but not but it's very surface level. More on that when I discuss the adaptation. But the game itself is where it shines, where it's just a run and gun shooter, sometimes side-scrolling platformer. Gameplay is broken into 2 types of settings. Yeah, for the most part, you are going around and you'll come across these bosses, which are the holders of the soul contracts that they have, or you'll be able to play through these little, sometimes very occasionally, but not many, these platforming adventures in which you can collect coins that will help you build up your status as you progress the game. Combat is mostly focused on like some type of railgun scenario. I'll describe more like magic bullets that takes on many shapes and sizes, in which if you get enough coins, you can purchase them at the pork rind or your own, like this game's version of an inventory person in the form of a big pig character, porkorium. Or you can upgrade into much more damaging or successful super moves after you will come across a ghost section, in which will help you practice on parrying. During the course of the game is very important, and it's a very highlight aspect to the gameplay itself. It helps you dodge, counter, build up a card meter in which you'll be able to perform these EX moves, basically just a very super like a much more charged version of the gun that you have, or a super move that does excruciating damage. So it's very beneficial that you go back and forth between the missions or the bosses themselves to build up your rank, earn all the coins that you can possibly get, because the more equipped that you are, the better you are be able to handle these scenarios. Because difficulty is something that this game is also known for. Like the old classic games, or arcade platformers of those era, if you get it's very easy to get hit in this game. 3 is usually start with a 3 heart situation. So if you even come in contact, make contact with an enemy, that's it. Prepare to be die in this game very often. it is not something that is a light play. Is like you can be able to do a multiplayer section in which two players can play as either of the characters. That in and of itself can be a headache because the game is very chaotic and it's a lot of ways in which multiple things are happening all at once. Either while you're doing the sky scrolling platforming section or to find the bosses themselves. Now the gameplay switches up very slightly if you when you come across an airplane scenario, airplane scenario where you're getting a cockpit, and most of the gameplay switches up because aesthetically you're in an airplane, but it's mostly you're able to shrink your size when you're avoiding situations, and your move set is also changed up, but overall it's still like the basic controls that you'll have in the default settings of this game. The production, as I said, is mainly through hand-drawn animations, creatively done character designs that really takes full advantage of the type of homage that they're going for. It's also prevalent in this game, which you'll become is a variety of swinging jazz or old-timey four-man quartet lyrics and audio that really immerses you into the world of playing an actual cartoon in itself. Very little is done, like I said, for the story, which for the most part, any type of story elements that is done is mainly through the slideshow, animated slideshows that show some type of little dialogue between only a very few characters. But other than that, the game is mostly about the gameplay itself. I'm happy to say this is an amazing experience, especially for me personally, that I find in this game, as I am a heavily big fan of old school style of animation. All the cartoons is sending me right back to the feels of being a young little child of the olden days of early cartoons. But like a cartoon, so I'll say that this game is amazing, personally. And I will, at the time of this video, I did purchase the DLC extension pack of the delicious last course. I'll be giving my thoughts on that on my social media reviews on Instagram and Facebook. But like the cartoons, let's talk about my thoughts on the Netflix adaptation called The Cuphead Show. So the Cuphead Show is a different experience than playing the game. You expect it to be something like the action shoot 'em up that the game itself is, but it's more online like a character-driven comedy, and something even despite the fact that the game aesthetically is the show aesthetically is basically the same type as the game. Going back from all the characters have the same type of character designs, just slightly updated so they can animate them better for their performances. The show itself is more very modern in how it does cartoons. So the Cuphead Show itself has the stories and the episodes is very a mix between SpongeBob SquarePants and the Animaniacs. I say that because the type of humor that they're going for is very much in line with those shows, and the Animaniacs specifically, the anime itself is take a rip on the old school type of cartoons that Cuphead itself is is based off of. And of course, it's good. Sometimes itself, it also is a musical in some regards. Notable voice actors like Grey DeLisle and Wayne Brady, they lend their voices specifically to either King Dice for King Dice for Wayne Brady. Grey DeLisle, she voices Miss Chalice, which is a character who is known for in the DLC. Luke Willington, it does an inspired take on the devil. The voice actors who voices the Cuphead and Mughead respectively themselves are True Valentino and Frank Todaro. Cuphead is portrayed as a eager, get into trouble like character, and Mugman more reserved and concerned. Opposite, they play off well with each other. The show does like it does some dark humor as well. That's welcome, and some very surprising directions that are they taste it different than the type of interaction they find themselves in the games. So if you, I can understand if you playing the game, you're slightly disappointed in the adaptation, but I feel as though the way they do it is very much in line with the type of cartoons that they're trying to do, which is they were more comedy focused. But this show does decide to take on its own direction, which is in of itself is kind of refreshing. So you're getting two types of experiences simultaneously. So there we have it. That's my review for Cuphead and some thoughts on the Cuphead show. I would say that the Cuphead show is so far a great experience, while the game, of course, is amazing. Be sure to come back or for more videos. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow up on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter social media. To be on the lookout for my thoughts on the Delicious Last Course and other reviews or such, which I don't have time for to do on this channel, but I'd like to give lend out what I know. Yet again, please come back anytime, and see you later.